It is another Wednesday night and we are happy you could join us. Tonight we have a mixed bag as the traditional institution is intensifying the call for peace, security and shared values in the land. There is an all-out offensive against drug trafficking as the police and NDLEA collaborate. On a cheery note, a community is in full excitement as rail tracks attract businesses and new friends. There is also a less than tasty update on maize farming. We have stories from every region in the nation, so stand by for the ones not too far from your area. After all, the taste of the pudding is in the eating. So, shall we begin? Well, I am Fatima Umarubuwa. The Federal Executive Council has approved the augmentation of contract for the procurement of poultry in favor of states affected by crisis in 2019. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, who announced this, also said her ministry is prepared to respond most appropriately to the humanitarian crisis arising from the renewed attacks by insurgents and other criminal elements in parts of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports on these and other resolutions adopted.
President Muhammadu Buhari presided over the council meeting 43rd to be held virtually in compliance with the COVID-19 safety advisory. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development presented the memo on the procurement of poultry on behalf of NEMA.
Council approved the procurement of poultry for Borno, Plateau, Yobe and Zamfara states that were affected by conflict in 2019.
An augmentation of more than 76 million naira has been approved for the project. The minister also used the opportunity to decry recent attacks in parts of the country by criminal elements, describing the resultant humanitarian crisis as worrisome.
Really, the ministry is being confronted with these issues of humanitarian crisis, displacement, and so on and so forth. But we are doing our best to give first response as well as to support with durable solutions. We hope that this security situation will improve and people will go back to their normal lives and return back to their communities in safety and dignity.
Two memos presented by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, were also approved by the Council.
One for the facility maintenance of the 17-story Nigerian Content Towers building in Yonagwa for 2.1 billion naira. Another memo was also presented to Council for the operations and maintenance of a 10 megawatts power plant also in Yenagua for the sum of 712 million for 2 years.
The minister explained that the rehabilitation of Port Harcourt refinery is on course, so also the auto gas program.
The Vice President is leading the effort. We've been discussing around ensuring that we are able to bring in 1 million conversion kits for Nigerians, and also at the same time ensuring that you have the dispensing facilities in country.
Mr. Timothy Silva also said the household gas penetration program will soon be launched. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In the meantime, a draft national policy on poverty reduction with growth strategy has been approved by the Federal Executive Council. This is furtherance of efforts by the Buhari presidency at lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years. The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, announced this while briefing journalists after the council's meeting. Again, Adamu Sambo reports that the council also approved the adoption of a national diaspora policy.
The draft policy on sustainable national poverty reduction with growth strategy was submitted to the Council recently by the Presidential Economic Advisory Council at the instance of President Muhammadu Buhari. The Council members deliberated extensively on the two-volume policy document and unanimously gave their approval in response to the poverty situation in the country.
It's not as if government is not aware that there's poverty in the land, but things have been done, and one of it is this national poverty reduction with growth strategy.
By June this year, it will be 2 years since the promise by President Muhammadu Buhari to lift 100 million people out of poverty in 10 years. As the Council noted, it is work in progress. Consequently, a Nigeria Investment and Growth Fund will be set up to support the implementation of the poverty reduction strategy to be domiciled in the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning with an appropriately established technical working group.
A National Steering Committee chaired by the Vice President is to provide overall guidance for the implementation of the strategy. It approved the incorporation of the strategy into the medium-term National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 and Agenda 2050.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has been directed by the Council to prepare and submit a bill to the National Assembly for approval towards ensuring sustainability in the implementation of the poverty reduction strategy. Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama, whose memo on the national diaspora policy was also approved for adoption, described it as a critical win-win situation for the country and the 17 million Nigerians in the diaspora.
This policy aims to promote national development through constructive engagement with the Nigerians in the diaspora. In fact, for them to be really an integral part of our march towards greater development and utilizing all the skills and all the resources that they have.
The policy, he explained, is also expected to bring about diaspora voting as well as utilizing the skills of Nigerians in the diaspora for national growth and development. The Nigerian in Diaspora Commission, headed by Abike Dabri Erewa, is to implement the policy, also aimed at formalizing and giving structure to the relationship between the Nigerian government and Nigerians in the diaspora. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Nigeria and some West African countries were appreciated Tuesday by the Sierra Leonean government as the country marked its 60th independence anniversary at a series of events in the capital city of Freetown. State House correspondent Judy Onifadi reports.
Sierra Leone has always been on the side of collective African action at the global stage, including the United Nations.
In his anniversary speech delivered before several other West African leaders, including Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the President of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio, mentioned how Nigeria and other countries in the sub-region have been helpful in the cause of the peace and development of this country.
Excellencies, heads of state, I take this opportunity to reaffirm my country's commitment to the pursuit and promotion of common African agenda through these and other multilateral institutions, including our leadership of the C10 and other processes. Let me equally assure my fellow citizens, assure your excellencies and the rest of the world that Sierra Leone has taken the challenge and we deliver on the promise at independence in 1961 to be a great nation.
Both Nigeria and Sierra Leone have shared cordial relations from colonial times, which has continued and evidenced in the socio-economic, technical, and security cooperation over the years. In a show of appreciation and gratitude, President Bio honored Nigeria and the other countries that he said have stood with Sierra Leone, a nation that survived an 11-year-old civil conflict from 1991 to 2002.
All of what Sierra Leone has been through in the past years, 11 years of civil war, and it has emerged from that terrible experience much stronger, a united country, and developing every day in, economically, socially.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo described it as a very happy event and that all the leaders were extremely proud of what the Sierra Leoneans have been able to do. Jude Onifade, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has warned that Nigeria cannot afford a war and that the elites in the country should rise up and speak the truth against forces of division in order to preserve the unity of the country. The Vice President stated this in Abuja while addressing some Progressives Congress leaders from the southeast. The Vice President noted that it is the political elites that will determine what would take place, and keeping quiet with the hope that things would normalize could lead to a worse situation and endanger lives and the future of the country. According to him, every conflict is a result of elites' failure to speak up and tell the truth to their communities. On the forthcoming governorship primaries in Anambra State, the Vice President said fairness and justice will be fundamental in ensuring victory for the party at the polls. When push gets to shove, drastic measures must be adopted. That is why Chairman Imo State Community Policing Committee, Eze Emmanuel Okeke, is stressing the need for synergy among key players towards achieving the return of peace and security in the state and other troubled areas in the country. He made this known at a meeting of traditional rulers held in Owerri. Bright Ebuchu reports.
The convergence of traditional rulers in Imo State is born out of the need to find lasting solutions to the security challenges facing the state. Chairman, Community Policing Committee and traditional ruler of Ami Ifeke in Olu local government area, Eze Emmanuel Okeke, while presenting a communique at the end of the meeting, notes that the recent attacks may not be far from being politically motivated and appeals to all to protect the interests of the state. Appreciating the efforts of the state government so far towards addressing the security challenges, some of the traditional rulers commiserate with the security agencies, urging them to ensure that perpetrators of the attacks are brought to book.
Traditional rulers from the various local governments should go home and sit and be able to identify the bad eggs.
No matter whoever that is causing this trouble, let them shelve their sword.
Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
Now we head to Ilorin now. Other Nigeria police force say recent upsurge in crimes across states of the Federation has prompted the urgent need for the full and speedy rollout of community policing strategy. This current effort is citizen-centered and driven by members of each community. Olajide Bello in this report takes a look at this initiative in Kwara State.
I'm the G1, that is the general number one of this program.
Meet Musa Shuaib, a native of Kayama local government area of Kwara State. Musa was a teacher with Kumfayakum Islamic College for more than 10 years, making him know the terrain of the community like the palm of his hands.
With my assistance, with my help that I can give to police officers, they can be able to perform wonderfully in order to curb social vices.
My community is my own terrain. It is somewhere I know. I know the in and out, the nook and cranning of every place. And with that, I'll be able to help combat crime.
The program is an effort to reduce different atrocities of crime in our different localities and in our areas.
Give us intelligence, gather information, arrest people from that locality, and even in sometimes they may be, they are given the mandate to even settle rift. But any serious crime like stealing, like hurt, killing, and the rest of them is above their mandate. They refer that one to the police.
The course officer, Police Training School, Ilorin, says a total of 1,056 special constabularies drawn from the 16 local government areas are presently undergoing training, bordering on protection and preservation of human rights and crime-fighting strategies.
They are to be taken through topics that relate to the establishment of special constabulary in the Nigerian police force, community policing, and its role in crime fighting.
With the likes of Musa who are anxious to take up the task of crime fighting once they are deployed back to their localities, it is hoped that the security architecture and community policing will fully receive a boost. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Now, Commercial Federal Road Safety Corps, Boboe Oyeyemi, has proposed the redesigning of spy number plates and stoppage of the covering of number plates by VIPs. According to him, this will go a long way in curbing criminal activities in the country. He made the proposal when the Acting Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, visited the Corps headquarters in Abuja. Oyeyemi Ajayi has the details.
This is the first time the Acting Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, will be visiting the headquarters of the Federal Road Safety Corps since the inception of office. The purpose is to facilitate interagency collaboration for enhanced security in the country. Issues of concern include abuse of security machineries such as spy number plates, incessant use of siren, and covering of number plates by some individuals to perpetrate criminal activities in the country.
The task force was set up in all the command formations in respect of this issue of abuse of sirens and beacon lights, and it's ongoing. Let the spy number plates be redesigned so that it's being used for criminality. Because once at the checkpoints, once police see this, they allow them to pass, not knowingly, because from the code regulations, spy number plates are not supposed to be on private vehicles. Yes, but you now see spy number plates on Lexus, on Land Cruiser, and they use it to commit a lot of criminalities. Because
covering of plate number, I don't know, is it a sign of arrival or big manism? I don't know, because it's really sad, and I think it requires a lot of enlightenment and enforcement. Yes, they should be given enough time to show them that it is against the traffic.
The Corps Marshal, while commending the efforts of the Nigerian police, especially in the arrest of 12 kidnappers who abducted and later released some officers of the Corps while on transit for training last year, reiterated the Corps' readiness to partner with any group to ensure safety and security of citizens. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
A new strategy of addressing crime and criminality from the root cause is being adopted by the police leadership. This has necessitated the Acting Inspector General of Police to again strengthen ties with the NDLEA to combat the scourge of illicit drug abuse and trafficking, which has been proven to be aiding crimes and other illegalities. Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
It is a meeting between two crime fighters. Here, the IGP is reaching out to NDLEA as an integral part of policing that will assist in tackling criminal activities.
Behind every crime, there is always the issue of drug. And if we synergize, cooperate, and collaborate, our synergy and collaboration will be very, very beneficial to Nigerians and indeed to law enforcement as a whole. I, on the other part, would always be ready to do whatever that is possible together with the agency in maintaining law and order in this country.
It has been established that fighting crimes and criminality without addressing the root causes will be difficult.
Your visit is timely. The use of drugs.
We apologize for that. We'll bring you the complete report in the course of the bulletin. Now, the latest attack and killing of security personnel in Rivers State is receiving condemnation from a cross-section of residents. Stakeholders, however, enjoined the authorities to convene a roundtable discussion to forestall escalation of the growing uprising in the southeast to other parts of Nigeria. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
The Sunday attack on security personnel along Omawa Isiobo Elele Owerri Road, which led to the death of a confirmed number of security operatives, raises concern on the security of lives and property.
A security agents like police, you know, they are our brothers, they are our sisters, and when they become subject of attack as it currently is, they will be demoralized. They won't be able to work well. They need our protection now. They are protecting us, but we, the society, now need to protect them.
While the Nigerian police in Rivers State confirmed the attack, it noted in a statement by its public relations officer, Nnamdi Omoni, that details are sketchy and investigation ongoing. This new dimension of attack on security institutions, though not justifiable to some concerned residents, call for quick action on the part of the government to adopt another strategy towards resolving the agitations among the populace.
Not all of them are bad, so it's not enough reason for you to attack a human being. I think the government should come together and put a lasting solution on security issues.
This latest attack on the security institution in Rivers State comes barely days after the relaunch of Operation C4I in the state. A security expert, Dr. Uche Chukwuma, enjoined security personnel serving in Rivers State to be more circumspect.
When I was in service, I used to have a slogan to my men. Once you turn on this uniform, you are going on for duty, and or you are carrying a gun, you develop what I call the eye of the tiger. Their supervisors should caution, even if we are posting them out, they should caution that their lives matter. Deliver that for which they are sent out to do, and not to commercialize the professional aspect of their job.
Concerned residents have, however, cautioned against politicking with the current security infractions, calling for collective action towards peaceful resolution of the issues. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amachiri, NTA News.
Well, thanks so much, Kingsley. Now, up ahead on News Extra, Abuja as originally conceived and the concerted efforts at ensuring that status quo is maintained. Special legislative seats for women. Hey, there is more to why that got me smiling that you may not know. Just like some happenings that have ignited lots of excitement somewhere in Kano. Do stay for details after this time out.
He's not my real father. But you already know this, Lera darling. Yes. But after 25 years, she just told me who my real father is. Now, where is it in the car?
Introducing Glow U2 plans. Feast your eyes from as low as 50 naira for 1 hour. Simply dial *777#.
The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, FNCS, FBCS, FIIM, cordially invites the general public to NDLEA's 20th anniversary lecture, scheduled to hold as follows. Date, Thursday, 29th April 2021. Time, 11 a.m. and venue, Digital Economy Complex, Mbora District, Abuja. Guest lecturer, Mr. Abdul Hakim Ajijola. As part of the anniversary celebrations, the Honorable Minister will also unveil NDLEA's Strategic Roadmap and Action Plan 2021 to 2024. Announcer, Malam Kashifu Inuwa Abdullahi, CCIE, Director General, CEO, NDLEA.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The federal government of Nigeria is implementing an off-grid electrification program for the deployment of solar electrification projects in primary health care centers, unity schools, and households in vulnerable off-grid communities across the country. This will be delivered by the Federal Ministry of Power through the Rural Electrification Agency. It's tagged Energy for All, Mass Rural Electrification. The program is being implemented under the National Economic Sustainability Plan, geared towards supporting the country's economic recovery in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The goal is to deploy mini-grids at 200 primary health care centers and provision of solar street lighting to adjoining communities and the distribution of solar home systems to 104 unity schools. It will be implemented over a 12-month period. Let's support this awesome drive as it will create jobs and ultimately contribute to the goal of having at least 30% of total electricity supply from renewable sources by 2030. Rural Electrification Agency, announcer.
Pension fund administrator, we soft, make sense, we care for me, shy. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Oh no. The brand the show them no go stress you. Call them then they accessible. Yes, customer care where they on point. You no go regret when you try of course. Profitable investment, everything is just a blend. If you know what's good for you, my guy, make you choose premium pension today. Make that switch to premium pension. Premium pension. Make that switch to premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
I am with you at every stage of your life, providing comfort when you are keeping fit, comfort when you are expecting your bundle of joy, comfort during motherhood, comfort in your office, comfort in your car, comfort when sharing a meal, comfort at bedtime. From cradle to grey, there's comfort for you with Vitafoam. Quality is vital. Quality is Vitafoam. Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Everything nice, everything fresh, ready to celebrate. Make we come down. Call your friends, let's come make we jolly. Let's have some fun and be happy. Feel the fresh, feel the new, feel the vibe. Feel the rhythm, feel the groove, come alive. Are you with me? Show me. Watch it, I love you. Like I said to Gucci, but let's don't do worry.
Every day I jolly with it like
Good to have you back on News Extra. The exemption of some categories of taxpayers from payment of tax as contained in the 2019 and 2020 Finance Act will impact on the Federal Inland Revenue Service revenue collection for 2021. This is coming from the Senate as it considered and passed the 2021 Federal Inland Revenue Service budget of 216.6 billion naira. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Umpo reports.
The report of the Senate Committee on Finance on the 2021 budget of the Federal Inland Revenue Service was among the major items considered. The committee recommended 7.6 trillion as total proposed revenue and budget of 216.6 billion be approved for the 2021 fiscal year.
The cost of collection of the service will be 4% of the non-oil revenue and no recruitment in the year 2021. FRS is doing very well. its revenue projection for last year was 5.076 trillion, but it actualized the amount of 4.950 trillion, which is 97.51%.
Senate also passed the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria Act Amendment Bill, which seeks to, among other issues, extend the tenure of the Resolution Cost Fund and grant it access to the special tribunal established by the Bank and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020.
That the corporation should also be empowered to take possession, manage, foreclose or sell, transfer, assign or otherwise of asset or property used as a security for eligible banks' asset, among others. At the meeting of the corporation, they will decide which action to take, and that's why the use of the word discretion is there. It's for AMCON to be able to recover huge sums of money, trillions, that people have taken and now is on the head of Nigerians.
The legislators urged the federal government to make provision in the 2022 budget for the rehabilitation and construction of the Ikorodu-Shagamu and Ikorodu-Itoikin-Ebe roads, sponsored by Senator Adeto Kumbo Abiru.
To boost economic development, as it will provide an alternative access route to Lagos.
Urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to cede that road to the two state governments.
The establishment bills for the Federal University of Education, AMPA, sponsored by Senator Issa Jibrin, and the Federal University of Agriculture, Kaba, by Smart Adeyemi, were passed. Senate has confirmed the nomination of Justice Salisu Garba Abdullahi for appointment as Chief Judge of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. All the 6 bills scheduled for first reading passed. This includes the bill that seeks to establish the National Blood Service Commission for Nigeria. Senate has adjourned to Tuesday, the 4th of May, 2021. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Democracy is considered the best form of representative system of government. Change is therefore being canvassed to address the disproportionate number of women in political offices, starting from the federal and state legislature. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill to that effect.
The Constitutional Amendment Bill seeks to change the narrative for women representation in the legislature. The sponsors of the bill want the creation of an additional 111 special seats for women from across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, 37 at the Senate and 74 for the House of Representatives. House Deputy Chief Whip Nkiruka Onyejocha and 85 others sponsored the bill.
It's a very good bill. It's an opportunity for us to be on the positive side of history.
It passed second reading and referred to the Constitution Review Committee for further legislative action. Also passed at second reading is a bill to establish Federal Medical Center in Renu, Kano State, from Representative Alhassan Rurum. A bill to establish Public Service Institute of Nigeria, sponsored by Representative Ferdinand Dozier, and a bill to provide compulsory teaching of vocational studies in secondary schools in Nigeria, from Representative Joseph Bello.
When passed, we ensure that our teeming youths are readily employable, they will gain invaluable entrepreneurship skills, and ultimately become, which is the most important part, self-reliant.
No student in Nigeria that will not have interest in one vocational study or the other. Let us use this bill to give them opportunity of learning one thing, an area that they have interest.
Other features at plenary is the adoption of a resolution to investigate the 500 million naira Chibok School Rehabilitation Fund, moved by Representative Satomi Ahmed, and the motion from Representative Musa Abdullahi urging the suspension of deadline for recapitalization of microfinance banks in Nigeria. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
With the Anambra State governorship election a few months away, how will the Independent National Electoral Commission ensure inclusion of persons with disabilities in the vote and other electoral processes? This was the focus of a recent awareness workshop involving key officers of INEC in Abuja. Ekene Ndulue reports.
Ballot papers are placed up high, where it becomes difficult for someone who is on wheelchair or someone who is on all fours on the ground to be able to access. Sign language interpreters were not in place.
These are some of the challenges infringing on the rights of persons with disabilities to participate fully in electoral processes. To protect this right, INEC and the Albino Foundation have developed a disability guide. This workshop is therefore to sensitize INEC officers on disability inclusion.
We've had discussion, even with the chairman, that every electoral material for persons with disability should be designated as essential material. And I can assure you that that will be done with the off-cycle election that is coming up in Anambra.
We could take this advocacy straight even to the political parties, where the political parties need to look at their constitution.
Officials say innovations have been put in place ahead of coming elections.
Being the training and research arm of INEC, we are going to develop modules really to train people on this new process and procedures.
Hopefully, the development of an implementation model and training of INEC officers on this issue will increase access, participation, and inclusion of persons with disabilities in electoral processes in Nigeria. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
And there is a difference between change and distortion. Change could be for betterment. Distortion of anything always has negative outcome. That is probably why the Development Control Department of the Abuja Metropolitan Management Council has pulled down structures and sealed off some premises in Maitama district for contravening the FCT Land Use Act. In this report, Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu takes a look at the ills of distorting the Abuja Master Plan and measures put in place by the FCT administration to restore the working document.
Abuja, the nation's capital, is guided by the city master plan, which every developer is expected to abide by to ensure serenity of the city as obtainable in other developed nations of the world. Over the years, city managers had to contend with cases of contravention of the FCT Land Use Act. More recent is this case here in Maitama district, where some residential houses were being converted to commercial entity. This led to the sealing off of the affected houses after relevant notices were served on the developers.
This one you can see there is no signage, nothing. So you might assume it is just a residential building. It is not. It is referred to a 10-room hotel. 10-room hotel here, number 12 Katsina Allah. So it is in violation of the land use. So it is under seal.
The bulldozers of the Development Control Department did not spare this illegal structure in Wuse Zone 6. Acting Director of the Development Control, Garba Kwamkuru, says the department will not rest on its oars until the city is sanitized of the illegality distorting the Abuja Master Plan to avoid a repeat of the Lagos experience.
Many people have had to complain that what we ran away from Lagos is gradually becoming of Abuja. So we are mindful of that, and the steps we've taken today are part of the steps that we're trying to recover Abuja to a very serene garden city that was ever thought of.
Some respondents call for the decentralization of the city center by fast-tracking development at satellite towns and area councils.
After the master plan, there's also what they call the Abuja Metropolitan Management Plan that nobody is talking about it.
I think the focus is more on the metropolis, but I think they should also work on the rural areas.
With all hands on deck and residents respecting the statutory rules and regulations guiding the city, experts believe the nation's capital, Abuja, will continue to be the pride of the nation. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
The envisaged multiplier effect of the ongoing Kano-Katsina rail project have continued to propel excitement in communities whose destinies are likely to be reshaped by the project. Densely populated agricultural and commercial town of Dambata in Kano State, where the rail track transverses, is one of such communities that could not yet let go the euphoria aroused by the flag-off of the project. Abdullahi Mustafa, on a special assignment, takes us through the town in the haste for this life-changing promise.
Dambata was a strategic point along the famous Trans-Sahara trade route. It started as a replenishing station and later a slave trade hub. For centuries, it remains an important center of livestock and agricultural produce trading. Dambata Central Market still receives weekly visitors from far and near.
Our market is famous in the sale of livestock to buyers from various places.
Among frequent visitors are livestock buyers from the southern states of the country.
We are coming all the way from Kwaibum just to buy goats here with good transport and expenses on the road, all these veterinarians and police on the way. So it becomes difficult for us to sell it there.
Addressing this concern and boosting economic activities are part of the aims of initiating the Kano-Katsina railway project of the Buhari administration.
This particular location is 4 kilometers away from Dambata town. The railway station will be sited around this place.
The marketing and transportation of this agricultural produce and also the livestock will be very much easier.
Farmers, he believes, will benefit immensely, as within the proposed Dambata railway station's 15-kilometer radius are irrigation sites producing food and cash crops all year round.
Will be very much easier and more convenient and safer to be transporting this down to the south, the middle belt, the east, and sometimes you even find some of these produce going up north, even into Niger, particularly the grains.
While the railway project is underway, Dambata and neighboring communities are appreciative of the federal government's decision to complete an abandoned power project in the area. The realization of the 260 MVA transmission substation and of the railway project, residents believe, will turn around the economic fortunes of the area. From Dambata in Kano State, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Sure, an interesting one from Dambata. What is that element that could make groundnuts and maize do more damage than good to your health? Let's find out together and then take precaution, because I love groundnuts. That would be after when we return from this break we are about to take. Please stay.
There's something every mother has. It's something like a sixth sense, like knowing exactly when her baby's in danger. It doesn't matter where she is or what she's doing. She carries her family in her heart always and knows when all is not well, even when it appears like she might be wrong. A mother's instincts are hardly ever wrong. And she trusts M&B paracetamol, the red one, to save the day. With fast-acting and effective M&B paracetamol tablet, the red one, and its pleasant-tasting pineapple flavor syrup, she sends aches and pains far away from her family. Because mothers who know trust May and Baker for its over 70 years of quality experience. If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor. M&B paracetamol. Pain can't stop you.
This looks different.
It is. See for yourself.
Okay, so it's a photo.
Look closer. Photos within photos.
What about video?
8K video. Beyond cinema quality.
So...
You can pull portrait quality photos straight from video.
But will it last the whole trip?
Battery for the whole trip and the way back.
This is different.
Told you.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach.
Try Panadol Caplets for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Caplets. This has been Medifact for Panadol.
I've got no ice on me, but still can freeze your knees. What up?
Unleash your cool side with Mentos Fresh Action Candy and its incredible soothing liquid filling. Get on stage now.
I be the cool guy that you want, fresh guy that you want. Mentos Fresh Action Candy. Get cool, stay fresh with the Mentos Fresh Action Candy.
Mentos Fresh Action Candy. Get cool, feel fresh. Now with vitamin C.
See how much it now looks better. Golden pennies and movie. New look, the same great taste. Golden pennies and movie.
New look, same great taste with natural ingredients. Contains proteins that help maintain a balanced diet.
New look,
same great taste.
Golden Penny Semovita, your soul food.
Dear mothers, the source of our happiness is our babies. So what's the source of happiness for our babies? I want to consult our pedagogue.
For babies' happiness, it is important to choose a dry diaper because with a dry diaper, babies do not have rash and are comfortable.
Dryness is very important. So let's make our test. Nigeria's #1 choice of mothers, Morphix Air Dry, has the dryness all the mothers dream of because it's ultra absorbent and ultra breathable, so it stays dry and does not leak. Our babies do not have rash. So we're starting the happiness movement with Morphix. Come on, mothers, try Morphix and join our happiness movement.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
It is very important for us to tell our stories so that our people will know their history. Now, for make our people to get their mindset shaped for the right way.
Now, our Tori be this for the best to regional Niger dramas, telenovelas, and sports. Get your GoTV decoder, GoTenna, and 1 month GoTV Jolly subscription for the low price of 6,900 naira. Download my GoTV app to manage your account and enjoy better entertainment. GoTV, love it.
After a disappointing result against already relegated Sheffield United, Brighton and home Albion will be looking to put up an impressive performance where they welcome overachieving Leeds United this Saturday. It's Brighton and home Albion versus Leeds United on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu in association with Gold.com.
Thanks for staying. Debt Management Office advised states to deepen fiscal management operations as Nigeria Exchange Group All-Share Index dips by 1.3% to close below 39,000 points. Let's join Musa Abubakar for more details on business news. So over to you, Musa.
Thank you, Fatima. The Debt Management Office, DMO, is advising states to take ownership of debt laws to deepen fiscal management operations at the subnational level. Director General of the DMO, Patience Oniha, say part of the fiscal concerns for government is poor debt service to revenue ratio, hence the need for all tiers of government to align for better debt management in the country. Speaking at a virtual workshop, Oniha said the DMO, as one of the implementing agencies in the state's fiscal transparency, accountability and sustainability program, is presenting the guidelines for the legal framework for state debt management operations to the 36 states of the Federation.
So at the center, there's the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Then there are some provisions in the DMO Act as well at the center. So what this is doing is telling them the minimum content. So there should be process, there should be an institution. Where should it start from? How should it go? So that's what this law is doing, as in the content.
At the last assessment, 24 states met the eligibility criteria to benefit from the SFTA's $750 million grant from the World Bank. She said it is important to get the remaining states on board for national economic interests. Now, Secretary General of OPEC, Sanusi Barkindo, says the COVID-19 pandemic has served as a stark reminder of how crucial global energy cooperation is in confronting serious industry crisis, supporting stable energy markets, and fueling economic growth. He stated this at a symposium hosted by the International Energy Agency and co-organized by the International Energy Forum and OPEC. Barkindo noted that global primary energy demand is expected to continue growing in the medium and long term, rising by 25% by 2045. Oil is projected to remain the largest contributor to global energy mix by 31%, while gas and coal are said to account for 28% and 25%. And now the equities markets. Investors shed 274.23 billion naira to close Wednesday trading session on a negative note. The all-share index fell 1.33% to close 38,781.48 points, and the equity capitalization at 20.2 trillion naira, 259.5 million shares valued at 1.9 billion naira were traded in 3,547 deals. FBN Holding, Transcorp and Zenith Bank are the most traded stocks, with a combined volume of 122.7 million shares worth 913.6 million naira at the end of the day's transaction. Well, that's business news. It's back to you, Fatima.
Well, thank you so much, Musa, for the business package. And I'll take you all to Ebonyi State now. As one of the benefiting states from the World Bank assisted $750 million state's fiscal transparency, accountability and sustainability program, Ebonyi boasts of capital projects which are at various stages of completion. Kanayo Okoro reports that the state has so far accessed 6.3 billion naira from the fund.
The implementation of the State Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Program in Ebonyi State with prudent management of resources entrenched a policy that has significantly reduced corruption in civil service and boosted the revenue base of the state. The Commissioner for Finance and Economic Development, Mr. Orlando Wenze, said the funds assessed so far has been properly channeled to the construction of Ebonyi International Airport and the State's College of Medicine and Teaching Hospital. Mr. Orlando, who expressed the state government's interest to be part of the second phase, described the program as strengthening capacity, technical support, as well as making the citizens to be part of governance.
Funds, expected funds, were probably being planned to be used for the equipment at the international airport, Ebonyi International Airport, and of course the Ebonyi College of Medicine, which is ongoing currently. However, as far as the program is still on, we are very much interested in following through, because beyond the grants we are getting, the program is equally helping to strengthen the system. It's helping to build capacity through the technical support we've gotten from the World Bank, from Ministry of Finance, from the Nigerian Governors Forum. So we've been able to strengthen the capacity within the states.
Appreciative of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration for attracting the initiative, some of the respondents said the ongoing projects, when completed, will not only launch Ebonyi in the Committee of Nations, but will make life more meaningful and comfortable for the people of the state.
When this is fully completed, it will trigger job creation. So we are thinking that with these two facilities, we will have much more job, and the unemployment will be reduced to the barest minimum.
View of economical benefits, huge one, and it will sell Ebonyi State to the whole world.
We that are Eza people, where it's located, it has already made Eza to appear in the world map.
Each of these developments is interconnected to facilitate the development of the state into a first-class state of Nigeria.
With the program helping to reduce unemployment ratio in the country, the people are of the view that the youth restiveness will also be addressed.
One good turn deserves another is what is playing out as Jigawa state government has so far received over 11 billion naira from the World Bank supported state's fiscal transparency, accountability and sustainability program. The 4 years results-oriented program, which first phase is coming to an end this year, has improved the standard and quality of governance along the focus area of the policy. Mohammed Musa Askira reports.
It is on record that Jigawa state government has so far received over 11 billion naira from the World Bank supported state's fiscal transparency, accountability and sustainability program. The 4 years result-oriented program, which first phase is coming to an end this year, has improved the standards and quality of governance along the focus areas of the program. To this end, Jigawa state has been rated the best performing state in the Budget Transparency Index in 2018 and repeatedly same position in 2020. The state is one of the few others which provide extensive budget information through effective mechanism for public consultations.
This program was introduced by World Bank just to prepare states to inculcate the fiscal discipline and the issue of public financial management, to have a very sound public financial management in states. And for us, really, in Jigawa, we are known for this, and definitely even beyond sectors, this will be sustained.
Looking at the 9 disbursement leak indicators shows increased citizens' engagements in the budget process, implementation of Treasury single account, boosted internally generated revenue collections, biometric registration and BVN to produce payroll fraud. The policy, therefore, improved procurement practices, strengthened debt management, clearance of domestic expenditure arrears, and improved debt sustainability.
Our team have done wonderfully well in SIFTAs. We are #1 in the country on the grant of SIFTAs. Jigawa gets $16.9 million as grant from SIFTAs, being the first state in the country.
Governor Muhammadu Badru Abubakar's penchant for prudence management of state resources and ensuring transparency in government's dealings made it possible for the state to get over 11 billion naira out of more than $1.4 billion federal government received from the World Bank in 2 tranches.
Now, the $750 million World Bank-assisted program being implemented in the country under the state's fiscal transparency, accountability and sustainability is said to be promoting healthy competition and rolling out critical infrastructure at subnational levels. This, experts on NTA's Tuesday Live attribute to the insistence on fiscal discipline as basic requirement for accessing the facility. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports.
Initiated in 2017, the SFTAS is committed in driving the implementation of critical infrastructure under the World Bank-assisted fund of $750 million to be expended within the time frame of 4 years. Assessing these grants, however, rely on individual states' level of fiscal discipline, debt management profile, improvement in taxes, and reduction in leakages, with priority to disbursement link indicator.
It's not meant to generate commercial returns.
therefore the financing itself is concessional. But to make sure that it's used for the right reasons, we need citizens, ordinary people to pay attention. How are these funds being used? So transparency is a buzzword for us.
Working with us as well at the Nigerian Governors Forum to determine the eligibility criteria, the capacity building processes, and the accountability framework. And I think it's something that states have been particularly grateful to all that have been involved in this for, because right now, 2 years down the line, okay, we've had 2018, we've had 2019, 2020, now almost all states are now involved.
Federal government is also working out modalities to strengthen capacity of states to leverage and improve on chances of utilizing the fund for transformation at subnational levels.
This is a program that has done so well that, again, the World Bank agreed to do another top-up of $750 million US, which is just in December or November, approved by the World Bank Board, and it's been approved also by the Federal Executive Council.
As the World Bank project reaches its peak in Nigeria, the argument of experts here is for stakeholders to sustain conversation and work towards a realizable future, using the fund as a vehicle for accelerated growth and development of the country. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Street hawking is an age-long practice in various parts of Nigeria, which usually involves adults and children. It is okay if an adult chooses to take that part and does it within the confines of the law. But for the underaged, it is another ball game altogether. In this report, Tayo Osho takes a look at the trend among children in Ekiti State and dangers inherent.
Street hawking is a common sight in our country, which can be said to be beneficial to the public as it brings goods and services closer to them, while it serves as a source of income for the hawkers. This trend, however, involves children like Sunday Ojo, a primary 5 pupil in Ado-Ekiti, who hawks to assist his mother to make money to put food on the table. Sunday and other children like him can only do this after school hours because the Child Rights Act that makes basic education compulsory has been domesticated in Ekiti State, and the government is all out to enforce the law.
We have a committee that is on ground that is implementing the child rights law in Ekiti State, and of recent, the committee went on a raiding exercise. They found out that some children there were hawking during school hours, and such children were apprehended.
We also have the child rights law in Ekiti State, which is undergoing some amendments as of today. The law frowns bitterly at hawking for children on the streets, especially during school hours. Every child is expected to be in the school.
Although parents of children apprehended for hawking were arrested, but pardoned after necessary orientation by government, nevertheless it is believed that these children are exposed to dangers and abuses while hawking, which makes it dangerous. Some respondents who are of the opinion that the economic realities in the country leave some parents with little or no option than to involve their children in making ends meet, advised such parents to keep an eye on them.
They might or could get knocked down by a fast-moving vehicle or an Okada. The parents should provide a shade for them, or maybe in the front of their house, or create a, if their parents is having a shop, they should join their parents.
Because most of these children that are doing it, they are not happy, but they don't have choice. They have to make ends meet. We recollect as far back as when I was in the secondary school, we had some of our mates that do hawk before coming to school in the morning. And so that is why it is still happening.
The consensus of respondents is that children are vulnerable members of the society, hence the need to protect them and empower them through education to enable them to become worthy leaders in the future. In Ado-Ekiti, Tayo Osho, NTA News.
Agriculturists, nutritionists argue about whether food is medicine or not. However, they agree that what we consume and how certain foods are eaten could trigger health problems, especially if they are contaminated or contain toxins. Now, maize and groundnuts are some foods popularly consumed in Nigeria. Well, that is not a thing of concern, but their infestation with alpha-toxin has adverse health implications if consumed by either human beings or animals. Musa Baba Aliu will tell us why.
Farmers and consumers don't consider fungal in grains, especially maize, beans and groundnut, as anything. Oftentimes what they do is just to dust, clean and eat, or throw it to their livestock to feed on. If it is maize, our women know how to sieve and clean the grain, he says. But agriculturists, alongside medical experts, warned that consuming fungal-infested crops is harmful.
That millions of people are being traced to the consumption of aflatoxin-infected food, to be having liver cancer. Almost more than 4 million children are suffering from stunted growth.
The recent survey conducted by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture indicates that 31% of maize meant for consumption in the country contains aflatoxin, a fungal-related pest.
Aflatoxin is a silent killer. It is responsible for very many liver cancer cases in Nigeria and in Africa.
Our own food safety is also important. We have to eat safe ourselves, apart from export, apart from the money we need to make.
And the good news now is that scientists have developed a chemical that will control aflatoxin in maize and groundnut. And the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, RITA, and Harvest Field are providing the chemical free for maize farmers. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliu, NTA News.
That's quite educative. Some hands that were hitherto idle have become firm hands on the plow. They say the federal government's intervention programs, particularly the special public works for 774,000 unemployed Nigerians across the federation, has helped channel the energies of many youths. Francis Udojo reports that in Kogi State, the initiative is beginning to yield the desired results.
The Extended Special Public Works SPW program has been designed as a veritable tool through which the lives of 774,000 unemployed Nigerians will be positively impacted by engaging in public works activities ranging from drainage clearing and maintenance, vegetation control, feeder roads maintenance, irrigation orchard maintenance, among others. Kogi State, having flagged off the program January this year, the concept is now materializing as some of the beneficiaries engaged have applauded the federal government's initiative, though appealing that payment of their dues is sustained.
The SPW posted to primary health care here. They are trying in terms of cleaning and everything. And we thank God for federal government for their support.
They have been able to clear the blocked gutters. They've been able to, cut down some weeds or trees, where we know we don't need them.
They did their work rigorously. You can see the contribution of the federal government has affected local government because it has led to sanitation of our environment.
Generally, the SPW program in the state has been described as a welcome development, which will no doubt improve the well-being of the people and thereby reducing the burden of unemployment in the state. From Lokoja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
So far, so good. We take another breather, and when we return, it's going to be about the trending news around COVID-19 amidst the threat of a third wave of the pandemic, as well as a peep into a relic that has become a comfort zone for bats. We will be right back with the details.
So smooth. Say you wanna party with a legend in the making. Spend it as we get it, better spread is what we baking. Say it out, I mean it, girl, the word is for the taking. But how I do my thing, smooth, that's on everything. Smooth, 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 smooth. But how I do my thing, working like I'm buzzing, bet I'm bugging for the honey. But how I do my thing, smooth, that's on everything. Smooth, 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 smooth.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth entrepreneurship support years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
After a disappointing result against already relegated Sheffield United, Brighton and home Albion will be looking to put up an impressive performance when they welcome overachieving Leeds United this Saturday. It's Brighton and home Albion versus Leeds United on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu in association with Gold.com.
Welcome back. Religious tolerance has been described as a veritable tool for national unity and development. This is the position of the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, and other first-class traditional rulers at the public presentation of a book titled Islam in Yoruba Land, History, Education and Culture in Lagos. Adiola Komiakere reports.
It was the gathering of Muslim Ummah of southwest Nigeria. In attendance were other faiths. The purpose was to launch a book which is of great significance to the Muslims in the southwest. The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammadu Saad Abubakar III, urged Nigerians to live peacefully for national development. He noted that Islam preaches love and peaceful coexistence, and as such, no one should divide the country under the guise of religion.
Many of those citizens who today express the hatred of others and advocate separation and call for balkanization of our great country are largely uninformed citizens whose understanding of our history is very poor. It is our hope that Nigerians, especially here in the southwest, will take time to read this book.
Culture is the strongest binding agent for us. You will see in Yoruba land that you will see intermarriage between various religions. I have never experienced it that people will start killing themselves, burning their houses because of religion.
The book, Islam in Yoruba Land, History, Education and Culture, gives the trajectories of the Islamic factor and impact in the socio-political streams and trends in Yoruba land. A 22-chapter book segmented into 4 parts chronicles what it means to be a Muslim in the Southwest.
This book is a worthwhile achievement in addition to other achievements it has recorded. While commending this giant stride of Muslim, let me quickly add that the body should note that there are some recent happenings in Yoruba land which are not captured in the book.
The book was compiled by the Muslim Ummah of Southwest Nigeria, established in 2008. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakiri, NTA News.
And in Port Harcourt, preparations for the resumption of international flights at the Port Harcourt International Airport is about 95% completed. This is just as authorities have set in motion a template for the strict enforcement of COVID-19 protocols on the heels of the second and third waves of coronavirus in other parts of the globe. You can't be too careful when it comes to COVID. Kingsley Amajiri was at the airport and now reports.
At the local wing, where flight operation is currently ongoing, those who provide ancillary services say they are mindful of the second wave of COVID-19 and are prepared for any eventuality.
Everybody is trying to keep the social distance due to the pandemic and so on and so forth. We understand that mostly in the airport here, you just have to keep the rule and regulation on how to do and how to social distances and so on and so forth.
We weren't prepared when COVID-19 came in, and if another is coming in, but we don't pray for that, but if another is coming in, at least we also survive like we've done, like we've not known that COVID was coming.
A number of stringent measures have, however, been introduced at the international wing of the Port Harcourt International Airport. Non-travel passengers would not be allowed into the terminal building. Beside the physical distancing footprint, there is also a protective shield at the counters between the passengers and the service providers. Passengers are to adhere strictly to the non-pharmaceutical protocol.
There's a place provided within the terminal building, the terminal frontage shelter, where the baggage will be disinfected, body temperature will be taken. Before you finally gain access to the terminal building, you sanitize your hand. The thermal scanner is there to take the temperature. If any passenger has a higher temperature, there will be segregation for further verification, and you have what you call a secondary screening.
NTA News gathered that the final resumption of international flight is subject to the approval of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority certification in compliance with the COVID-19 protocols. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
The temptation to compromise the robust COVID-19 safety measures at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos is visibly missing as protocols put in place are being heightened in response to the current global reality about the coronavirus pandemic. Michael Olale reports.
That fateful day, Nigerians indexed COVID-19 patients passed through this terminal. It was an unexpected development which still haunts today. Although the scar left by the second wave is healing, but happiness around the world is not too cheering to lose guard. The introduction of the drop zones at the Lagos airport is an innovation intended to reduce population of those accessing the main terminal. It is a kilometer distance to the main entry, which compulsorily limits the movement of those not traveling.
Reducing the crowd is important at this time around because once you have a crowd, you cannot be able to observe the protocols of COVID-19. So as soon as the crowd reduced, then it shows that we are serious about it. So if you don't have any business in airports, you better stay home.
This development has further promoted the stringent measures already laid down. Olariwaju Salami is a Nigerian residing in the United States. His decision to come visiting is based on the country's robust COVID-19 measure, which he believes can stand the test of a possible third wave.
At the baggage out there, you can see the camera down at the point of the entry.
and they observe the distance between the passengers before they come in. Even at the check-in counter, you see, for example, at the Askai over there, where I first started there, you see that they really observe the distance there.
Outside, I saw you can wash your hands, you can sanitize, so it's good. It's good.
If strategies put in place at the Lagos airport is anything to go by, then the possibility of a third wave is slim. But the challenge is on the streets, where people unrepentantly flout the protocol. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
The coronavirus pandemic is yet to be over, so health experts are still emphasizing the need for all to continue to observe the safety protocols. However, continuous compliance seems to have become difficult for many. Hakimat Aliyu in this report takes a look at the situation in strategic locations within the FCT.
It's to some motor parks, markets, around school environments, offices, amongst other places in the Federal Capital Territory, reveal decline in the practice of non-pharmaceutical protocols against coronavirus. With very few wearing a mask, and in most cases, many have it under their chin or handy just to gain access to particular locations. With non-functional hand washing points, while many no longer care about hand sanitizers as obtained in the early days of COVID-19.
It's not convenient for me.
The hand sanitizer?
The hand sanitizer, taking it, going about with it all over, I don't like it.
By not putting my face mask, I'm disobeying the rules because that's what the government says. But at the same time, it's so soft, it's so stuffy.
Besides, if we wear our face mask, no, if you breathe well.
It causes a lot of rashes in my nose and my mouth, so I don't want to use the nose mask again.
Do you wear it in class? No. You don't wear it in class?
Yes.
The attitude and disposition of many, no doubt, leaves much to be desired. Experts, however, maintain that the honors of ensuring safety against the tide of another wave of COVID-19 has currently been experienced in some other parts of the world, lie largely with taking personal responsibility. Could this be that the enforcement team no longer carry out monitoring?
What is most important is enlightenment. People should get enlightened, and people on their own know the value, the importance of doing certain things. Whatever government advice, either is a public health issue or other security issues, is for your own good. A lot of people have stopped using those non-pharmaceutical preventive measures. But this is very, very dangerous for us. If you look at what is happening outside the shores of this country, you know that COVID is still here and it's pandemic, so it can fly from one part of the world to the other. So we still advise that we continue to maintain the non-pharmaceutical preventive measures that are in place.
While residents are being enjoined to tread with caution, the ongoing COVID-19 vaccination in the FCT remains another effective way of curtailing the spread of the virus, experts say. Hence, people should avail themselves for the vaccination when opportunity arises. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliyu, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Hakimat. Now, if you are in Kaduna and happen to visit the popular Lugard Hall, it gives you a quick reminder of colonial legacy under the legendary Frederick Lord Lugard, and as a legislative house of the defunct Northern Region, which now holds Kaduna State's House of Assembly. Well, so much history, I must say, but going further, you will realize the presence of uninvited guests of bats that have overtaken the beautiful greenery of the old structure. Amazing, right? Well, let's join Yahya Adam for more.
Passing by the Lugard Hall in Kaduna City Center, to or from Independence Way, leaves me with many questions about the annual convergence of these murmurs and the reason for the choice of location. As if following the weather pattern, the bats congregate during the dry season, and when the rain starts, they bid farewell. Again, you ponder about the next destination.
It is really difficult to say precisely where these birds or those birds at that particular point would really move to.
They migrate, especially during the
the dry season, when there are not enough fruits for them to feed on, they go to where there are abundant fruits and water.
Probing further, I was told it is an annual tradition that has been kept by these migratory birds over time. While here, they maintain a daily routine. At sunset, they fly out of the colony, and the effect on the skyline is understandable.
In fact, I got frightened because of the large number I saw.
Sometimes I feel bad when I see them. And when it comes to our fruit again, they help us to damage the fruit even before it gets to us.
Before daybreak, they are back.
In the early hours of morning, like from 4 to 6, this bird will be very active, partly because of their nocturnal activity. They do that because their activities is restricted to night.
We can't even cook outside. They make a lot of noise.
For now, environmental approach may be needed to remove the bat or legislation by the Kaduna State House of Assembly to the effect. The Kaduna State House of Assembly is also here, co-locating with the bat colony. Now, could this be a mere coincidence or not? Your answer might be as good as mine. In Kaduna, Yahya Adam, NTA News.
You sure, Yahya? Up next is a peep into the world of sports. Ayodeji Makinde is on the spot for sports.
Thanks, Fatima. Let's start this way by telling you that Nigeria Customs have lost the semi-final of the ongoing Africa Club Volleyball Championship in Tunisia by 3-0 to CS Sfaxien of Tunisia 20-25, 11-25 and 16-25. Nigeria Customs women's volleyball team will now play against Kenya Prisons in the third-place match that will be on Friday. Let's cross over to football and tell you that Enyimba International of Aba and Orlando Pirates of South Africa, the match is live on NTA Sports 24 channel, which you can watch via Star Times channel 270, Star Sat channel 434 and Free TV channel 731. The People's Elephants need victory against Orlando Pirates to progress into the quarter-final of the CAF Confederation Cup. Spanish women's side, Levante, have announced the signing of Super Falcons forward Francisca Odega on a 2.5-year deal from Chinese side Shanghai Shenhua. The 27-year-old becomes the 9th Nigerian footballer to play in the Spanish league this season, which already has Asisat Oshuala, Rashidat Ajibade and Osinachi Ohale. Now to the UEFA Champions League, Paris Saint-Germain lost by 1-2 to Manchester City in the first leg of the semi-final decided at Parc des Princes this evening. Marquinhos put Le Parisien ahead in the 15th minute before Kevin De Bruyne equalized in the 64th minute and Riyad Mahrez got the winner in the 71st minute. The return leg will be played, that will be next week. To the Premier League now, the duo of Wesley Fofana and Cheku Kuyate have thanked the English Premier League for allowing them break their Ramadan fast in the match between Leicester City and Crystal Palace. Both clubs agreed with referee Graham Scott at pre-match for the game to be halted after half-hour mark to allow the players to take energy gels at the pitch side of the King Power Stadium. It is believed to be the first time a Premier League match has been paused to allow Muslim players break their fast. Leicester City later won the match as Super Eagles forward Kelechi Iheanacho scored one and assisted another for a 2-1 victory over Crystal Palace to keep Brendan Rodgers' side in contention for UEFA Champions League football next season. And that's sports. Let's go back to Fatima for the rest of the news.
Well, thank you so much, Ayo, for that. Now, the death has been announced of Pa Julius Adebayo Aremu Jayola. Pa Julius Jayola died on the 22nd of March 2021. He was 82 years old. A statement from the Jayola family of Otan Ayegbaju indicates that there will be a Thanksgiving service on Saturday the 1st of May at 12 noon at St. Peter's Catholic Church, Apataganga, opposite Government College, Ibadan. Entertainment of guests follows immediately at St. Peter's Catholic Church Field. Pa Julius Jayola is survived by children and grandchildren. Now, be a star, connect with the NTA and wage war against rape and rapists. That's the last statement I'm going to say before I say good night. I am Fatima Maruba.